All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is workout 2 of, I think, 5 for this month. So let's go ahead and come on down on the foam roller. And we're going to start on the glutes. Go ahead and just circle around on those glutes. We're going to make this nice and efficient, but again, warm up that nervous system before we jump into things. And when it comes to power work, we're talking about a little bit of impact, aka some jumping. So we want to prepare ourselves well with the foam rolling and some stretching before we dive in. Today's work is a lot to do with the hip area. So with that being said, let's lay on the side now and just get that TFL area at the top of the hip. So above the IT band, in that little crease, you'll feel that soft spot when you have this foam roller right on your hip. And just a little up and down. And now let's roll all the way over onto the front and keep the foam roller in the hip crease on the front. And again, just going up and down, little range of motion here. And this time you can sort of tip a little bit left and right as you're rolling up and down. So you're getting that whole area. And you can start to move it a little bit lower, but still above the main area of where the quad is. All right, so that is good. So now we're going to come back to seated and go to the other side, starting at the glute, circling right around. All right, so now coming completely on the side, up high in that soft spot. It feels kind of like it's in between two bones, but there's that little muscle there. It might feel a little pain, a little tightness, restriction. And then all the way over onto the front, and again, up at the top, near the hip crease. You're rolling up and down. And a little bit, you can shift your body a little bit side to side as you're rolling up and down. All right, and then you can release from there. So now let's roll the adductors, so the inner thighs. So let's lay right on our stomach and then pull the knee up. And then roll in towards the groin and back out. So you might be kind of balancing yourself up a little bit on your forearms as you do this. Use your breath if you're feeling a lot of resistance. All right, and then let's switch sides. Gonna be a nice warm up workout before the 5:30 class. All right, so from there, let's do the hamstrings. And you can sort of efficiently do one at a time if you want to cut down on the tension of holding ourselves up. Getting a little bit more directly in that one hamstring instead of sharing with two. Rotating the leg in and out as you do this. And then moving it down and doing the same thing with the calf. Livening and energizing us for the next workout, quite frankly. That's what it feels like here. All right, and then from there, let's do the same thing on the other leg. Hamstring, hamstring. Feel the nervous system and the muscular system start to connect with one another and say, okay, yeah, you want to work out? Perfect. Thank you for showing me some respect with this foam rolling time and not just diving in to the meat and potatoes. So from there, we're going to release and we're going to just finish it up with a quick roll on the quads. Which we've got in every other aspect of the low body. Let's do that with the quads. We can do both quads here at one time. If it feels pretty easy and breezy, go ahead and bend the legs. You're just digging in a little bit deeper. Keep your tummy nice and tight. Then try to turn the feet out a little bit. Get right down there to the inside of the knee. And then bring it back to neutral and turn the feet in. Getting towards the outside of the quad. We'll leave the ICBs alone. Not necessary for today. All right, so let's go ahead, put the foam roller aside. And I want you to come on down on your back. I'm gonna get comfortable on your back. And we're gonna start with a little bit of breathing here. So you're just gonna lay on your back, feet flat on the floor, bring one hand across your chest, one hand to your belly. You lengthen your head and neck, lower your shoulders, and then just breathe in through your nose. And breathe out. So hopefully with your hand on your chest and your hand on your belly, you notice on that inhale that everything is expanding. Front and back, high and low. And then everything softens as you exhale. So let's inhale, breathe, pause at the top. Exhale, a little bit slower. Couple more. Good breath, helps us move well. Minimize those restrictive movements. Fills us up with that good clean oxygen. All right, so bring your arms out to your side at 90 degrees now, and let's do some wall slides here. Before you go up, take a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, slide the arms up and try to lower the rib cage down as you exhale. Smooth it out. That tightness in the upper body can get us out of whack in the torso, and with the rib cage getting everything sort of expanded up. We really want it a little bit smoother and relaxed, drawn down. Big reach overhead, you're feeling that little spot that might catch, just kind of. Try to sit in that position a little bit and just do some little motions and see if it just lets itself go. Can't say enough about this, the usefulness of that exercise at the beginning of a workout. Doesn't matter if it's early in the morning or in the evening. All right, so from there, we're gonna come to seated. Feet on the ground or heels on the ground, knees bent. We're just gonna do some 90-90 rotation here. So drop to one side and notice sort of the hip of the back leg and the knee of the front leg and the knee of the back leg at 90 degrees. So everything's sort of at 90. And then come on over to the other side, to that 90 position, a little bit of rotation here, a little bit of push forward on that back leg. And then just come back to the other side. Just nice and mindful here. So what I want you to do when you come to this side, take that back arm and reach it through the arm that's on the floor. Take it out, rotate to the other side, and then reach that arm through. Getting that thoracic rotation, that's where a good deal of our rotational mobility comes from. A good deal of it, but most of it, quite frankly. Where we don't rotate through our lumbar spine or low back area. It happens in the middle back. And then above and beyond that is where we're really stable. Let's go one more time on each side. All right, and then release. So let's come onto our back now. 3 things that we're gonna do one time. And we're gonna start with a bridge. I want your heels down, your toes up. And just lift and squeeze your glutes. So you want your back nice and straight. Just fire up those glutes as you lift and lower as high as you can. Spine is long and stable. We're going for 10 reps here. And then release. All right, so we need to get our resistant glute for the next 2. We're gonna put the band on just below our knees. And then we're gonna bring our feet out against that band a little bit, come into a little bit of a hip hinge with the knees bent, so nice athletic stance. And then what you're gonna do is pull the knees together and then push out on the band. Pull the knees together, push out. Simultaneously squeeze the glutes as you push out. Little hinge of the hips, nice. We're gonna do 30 of these. Stay with your breath as you do this too. Feel this all over the glutes, bottom, middle, top. Tummy tight, core braced. And release. From there, we're gonna move the band down over our feet. Over our shoelaces and underneath. Spread the feet out just a little bit. You're gonna do a little single leg stand here. We're just gonna do a total of 10 of these. So you wanna keep the tension out on the band, lift up a little bit and hold. The abs zipped up. And then go ahead and switch. Lift up and hold. And switch. Keep some tension on the band. And switch. Switch again. And switch. Feel all that low body nice and fired up now. So start to get ready to move into some power work after this. And switch. We're going to do one more on each side. And release. All right, you're all done with the band, so you can put that off to the side. And then we're just going to start with a little bit of some power work here, starting with some skipping. Let's go ahead and just skip. You can skip around your room or right in place. Four different moves that we're going to do here. We never get too old for power work. In fact, you might argue that it gets a little more important as we get a little bit older. Hoping to keep us alert and highly functional. We just have to find the right level. All right, and release. So now we're going to start with the feet close together. Go out, out, in, out, out, in. So just an element of fast feet, widening and narrowing. Tummy tight. And then release there. And then we do our karaokes. So you're sideways moving, one foot comes in front, one foot comes in back. Little arm rotation. We get that rotation of the torso in too. For that rotary stability, rotational stability. So just go back and forth in the space. And let that go. And then finally, for the upper body, for our setting, upper body power is best accomplished through the kettlebell swing. Otherwise, using these, bigger slam balls, slamming them to the floor, to the wall rotationally, or wall ball that way is great, but that's really only good on concrete walls and not so much on drywall. So kettlebell swing, it is power push-ups or another good one. So let's set up for the kettlebell swing, one set for 10. So engage the abs, try to bend the kettlebell handle to set the back in place. Feet are nice and stable. Let's go for it. Squeeze those glutes, everything's fired right up. And then gently release. All right, last one in this series, before we get to some core work, a lateral bound. So you want to have some space left and right, but you're going to hop If you use your mat, you can start on one side, hop to the other side, kind of moving forward as you do that. And then you can turn around and go back. Soft legs. You try to land with a really stiff body, that's going to reverberate up that skeleton. Go back, and then we'll be done with that. And then we'll get into some core work to finish it up. All right. So I want you to grab a weight. We're going to do some weighted breathing for the core. So I would say like 8 to 10 pounds. You don't have to go much heavier than that. Although you could, if you really want to feel sort of the challenge of it, you could do 12 or 15 pounds. And you're going to come and lay on your back with that. And you want to place that weight wherever a belt would land when you're wearing pants. So think about where your belt line is, which might be a little bit different than where your waistline is with shorts, but maybe not. Mine's pretty steady, pretty much the same place with my leggings as it would be with pants, relatively speaking. All right, so what I want you to do, going back to what we did earlier, feeling that weight, you're gonna inhale for 5 counts, and then you're gonna exhale for twice that, for 10, okay? So go ahead. Resist that exhale. Nice and slow. The dumbbell starts moving around a little bit. Just kind of hold it in place with your thumbs or your fingers. Let's do a couple more. All right, and gently release. So we can place that off to the side. And come into a high plank now. If you happen to have like these gliding plates or like the valve slides, then by all means use them. A plastic plate or a paper plate would have worked too if I had said it earlier. I knew I would forget. Otherwise, we're all just going to come together in a high plank with the plates or the slides. You would have your feet on the slide. So we're nice and long here. Without the slides, you're just going to pull knee in towards your chest and press the leg back. And then do the other one. With the slides, you're just sliding it in. Your foot's technically not coming off the ground. Alternate. Let's do a set of 10 total. And release. All right. From there, we're coming back to our mat, but we need our band again. Our resistance loop. So we're going to go ahead and put that back around our feet. We're going to bring the knees up and we're going to hug one knee in towards the chest with the other foot extended against that band. Okay, so knee to chest, hold there, and then you're gonna bring that other leg in and press the foot out. A nice hip flexion march here. So zip the abs right up while you hold this. You might notice that the addition of the knee hug with the band march, you got to work a little bit harder to stay stable on that mat. Do two more. And then switch. So hug the other knee. Press the leg out, hug it. So you get it all set up, nice and anchored to begin. Keep the foot flex. I don't want that band sliding off your foot. And then begin the active part with the other leg. Remember, the purpose is to use this workout throughout this week. Try to do it a couple more times. The whole purpose of this series this month is to build some power, to stretch via stretching, via foam rolling, loosening things up, lengthening things out, releasing things. So everything moves a little better. And then combining that with some core strength and core stability as the whole package, as a little extra practice on top of our regular strength training workouts. So you're all set with that. And then what we're going to finish up with is a half kneeling high to low chop. So you want a band, a resistance tubing at a low anchor. Something for your knee. A little cushion for your knee. You're going to be sideways to that band, to that anchor. You might have to loop it around if it feels too tight. Choke up on it if it feels too loose. And then you're going from the hip up and across. So low, half kneeling position, up and across. Working that side body. The foot that's on the floor is right under the knee. The knee is straight out from the hip. Okay, so you should feel that need to maintain that core stability, because you might feel that pull towards your anchor, towards the band. So lateral stability and strength is what we're working on here. Good. So low from the hip and across the shoulder. Yep. And then let's go ahead and turn around and do the other side. So same thing, same alignment. Low to high, working the opposite side. Okay, what we have to remember as we wrap this up is the body is pretty magical and pretty mysterious. And we need to find that evenness in strength and sort of mobility across the top, the front and the back, the top and the bottom, front and the back. All of it plays together, and something that is weak in one area is going to pull on another area and create tightness there. The same thing, if something is not moving well in one area, that's going to move throughout the chain. So that is, again, going back to the purpose of this month of these weekly workouts, is we're trying to address all of that in all the major area, so we can really be as pain-free and as highly functional as possible.